Welcome back, everyone. It is so wonderful to have you here with me today. If you're new to this channel, come on in and get comfortable. I'm Susan. I spent over 20 years working in retirement planning and Social Security Administration, helping thousands of people navigate what might be the most important financial decision of their lives: when and how to claim their benefits. Because I've spent my career in this world, I see things that the average person approaching retirement misses. I see the subtle changes in the rules. I see the confusion in people's eyes when they realize the system they thought they understood has shifted beneath their feet. And unfortunately, I see the costly mistakes that people make. Mistakes that cost them tens of thousands of dollars over their lifetime. Mistakes that are entirely preventable. Today, we need to have a very honest, very important conversation. We need to talk about a specific group of Americans who are getting squeezed by Social Security rules in ways that most people don't fully understand. I'm talking about the transition generation. If you were born between 1958 and 1965, this video is especially for you. Pull up a chair, maybe grab a pen, because what I'm about to explain could change how you approach the next decade of your life. Here's the situation. For most of Social Security's history, the full retirement age was 65. That was the magic number. You worked your whole life, you turned 65, you collected your full benefit, and you signed up for Medicare. Everything lined up perfectly. Your parents probably did exactly this. Your older siblings might have too. But in 1983, Congress saw a problem coming. Americans were living longer. The baby boom generation was enormous. The math simply wasn't going to work. So they passed the Social Security Amendments of 1983, and buried in that legislation was a time bomb that's now exploding in the laps of people born between 1958 and 1965. They raised the full retirement age, but here's the thing, they didn't raise it all at once. They phased it in gradually over decades, and the people caught in that phase-in period are you, the transition generation. Let me break down exactly what this means for your specific birth year because the details matter enormously. If you were born in 1958, your full retirement age is 66 and 8 months. If you were born in 1959, it's 66 and 10 months. And if you were born in 1960 or any year after that, your full retirement age is 67. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Susan, what's a few extra months? Here's the hard truth that nobody is telling you clearly enough. Those extra months translate into real money, serious money. And if you don't understand how this works, you could be leaving a small fortune on the table. Let's talk about what I call the early claiming penalty and why it hits the transition generation harder than anyone before you. You can still claim Social Security as early as age 62. That hasn't changed. But the penalty for claiming early has gotten significantly steeper for your generation. If your full retirement age is 67 and you claim at 62, your benefit is permanently reduced by 30%. Let me say that again, 30%, forever. For people born just a few years before you, when the full retirement age was 66, that early claiming reduction was only about 25%. You're being penalized an extra 5% simply because of when you were born. Let me put real numbers to this so you can feel it. Say your full retirement benefit at age 67 would be $2,000 per month. If you claim at 62, you're not getting $2,000. You're getting $1,400. That's $600 less every single month for the rest of your life. Over a 20-year retirement, that's $144,000 you've given up. I had a woman come to me last year, lovely retired nurse, born in 1961. She claimed at 62 because she was tired, her job was physically demanding, and she thought she was being smart by getting her money early. She had no idea her full retirement age was 67, not 65 like her mother's had been. When I showed her the math, she cried. She's locked into a reduced benefit for life, and there's nothing she can do about it now. Here's what makes this even more frustrating. Many of you in the transition generation planned your retirements based on the old rules. You grew up hearing that 65 was the age. You made mental calculations. You imagined your timeline. And then the rules changed, but nobody sent you a memo. Now let's talk about the flip side, the delayed retirement credits, and why the math actually favors waiting if you can possibly swing it. For every year you delay claiming past your full retirement age up until age 70, your benefit increases by 8%. That's guaranteed. No stock market risk, no guessing, just 8% more per year. If your full benefit at 67 is $2,000 and you wait until 70, you'll get $2,480 per month. That's an extra $480 every month or nearly $6,000 per year for the rest of your life. But here's where the transition generation gets squeezed again. Because your full retirement age is later, you have less time between your full retirement age and 70 to accumulate those delayed credits. Someone with a full retirement age of 65 had 5 full years to build up that 8% annual bonus. You might only have 3 years. The window is smaller. Now I want to address what I call the Medicare gap, because this is where things get really complicated for your generation. Medicare eligibility has not changed. It still starts at age 65, but your full retirement age for Social Security is now 66 and 8 months, 66 and 10 months, or 67. Do you see the problem? There's now a gap of almost 2 years where you're eligible for Medicare but not eligible for your full Social Security benefit. That gap didn't exist for previous generations. They turned 65, they got Medicare, they got their full Social Security, and everything worked together. For you, if you want to retire at 65 and sign up for Medicare, you have a choice to make. Do you claim Social Security early and accept a permanent reduction in benefits? Or do you find another way to cover your expenses for those 20 to 24 months until you reach your full retirement age? This is the squeeze. This is why I say you're hit the hardest. I want to share a story about a couple I worked with, both born in 1962. They had planned everything around retiring at 65 together. They'd saved diligently. They knew they'd both be on Medicare. What they didn't realize was that their full Social Security benefits wouldn't kick in until 67. They had two options: take early benefits and accept a roughly 13% reduction for claiming at 65 instead of 67, or find a way to bridge that 2-year gap without Social Security income. They chose to delay. They used savings to cover expenses from 65 to 67. It was tight, but they made it work. And now they're collecting their full benefit amount every month, which will add up to tens of thousands of extra dollars over their retirement. Not everyone can do that, I understand, but you need to know these are the decisions you're facing. So, what should you do? Let me give you the action plan I give everyone in your situation. First, know your exact full retirement age. Don't guess, don't assume. Go to SSA.gov and create a My Social Security account if you haven't already. Look up your specific full retirement age based on your birth year. Write it down, circle it. Make sure your spouse knows it too. Second, run the numbers for your specific situation. The Social Security Administration has calculators that show you exactly what your benefit will be at 62, at your full retirement age, and at 70. Look at all three numbers. Understand what you're gaining or losing with each choice. Third, factor in your health honestly. If you have serious health conditions and don't expect to live into your 80s, the math might favor claiming earlier. If your family has a history of longevity and you're in good health, waiting could put significantly more money in your pocket over your lifetime. Fourth, coordinate with your spouse. If you're married, this decision affects both of you. Survivor benefits are based on when the higher earning spouse claimed. If you claim early and pass away, your spouse could be stuck with your reduced benefit for the rest of their life. Fifth, consider the Medicare gap. If you're planning to retire before your full retirement age, make sure you have a plan for health coverage and living expenses during that gap period. Now, I want to address something I hear constantly. People say to me, Susan, I don't trust Social Security will even be there. Like, I should take my money now. I understand that fear. I really do. But here's what the numbers actually show. Even the most pessimistic projections say that Social Security will be able to pay about 80% of benefits if Congress does absolutely nothing. That's the worst case scenario. And historically, Congress has always acted to shore up the program before cuts happen. Taking a guaranteed 30% reduction now because you're afraid of a possible 20% reduction later doesn't make mathematical sense. You're guaranteeing yourself a worse outcome to avoid a possibility that may never happen. Let me give you a quick summary of everything we've covered today. If you were born between 1958 and 1965, your full retirement age is somewhere between 66 and 8 months and 67. This is later than previous generations. Claiming at 62 means a permanent 30% reduction if your full retirement age is 67. Waiting until 70 gives you 8% more per year in delayed credits. Medicare still starts at 65, creating a gap of up to 2 years before your full Social Security kicks in. You need to plan for this gap. I know this is a lot to take in. I know it might feel overwhelming or even unfair. You didn't choose to be born in these particular years, but you can choose how you respond to this information. In my next video, I'm going to walk through the 5 biggest mistakes people make when claiming Social Security, including one that can cost married couples over $100,000 in lifetime benefits. You absolutely don't want to miss that one. Want to? If this information was helpful, please hit that subscribe button. I'm dedicated to helping you get every dollar you've earned and deserve from Social Security. And please share this video with anyone you know who was born between 1958 and 1965. They need to hear this. Take 15 minutes today to log into your My Social Security account. Look at your numbers. Make sure you understand where you stand. Thank you so much for trusting me with something as important as your retirement. Take care of yourselves, plan wisely, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.